let's do the streamers and box office top 10. Starting at 54, of course, Mindset.
I like Mindset a lot. I mean, I think it's well played. It's a sort of very independent drama about a script writer and an actor living together. And on one hand, it's kind of very tragicomic, and it deals with difficult subjects like the mental health issues. But there's just a hilarious bit in which Steve Oram is the script writer, and he's working on a script which is about a space cadet wrestling with his sexuality, and he describes it to the director he's punting it to as Silent Running meets Brokeback Mountain. And I said, I would pay money to see that film.
Mindset. All right. Yeah. And at UK 22 is Golda. I've not heard of this. What's Golda?
This is Helen Mirren as Golda Meir.
Oh, yeah. Yes. So this caused some controversy.
It did, and there was
non-Jewish actors playing Jewish characters.
Yeah, there was a very specific, question about whether or not. Of course, weirdly enough, Helen Mirren responded very well to this, saying, "Yeah, I think it is a valid question. I think the film itself is it's very nuts and bolts. It's not doing anything remarkable, but it did raise the question about." I don't know where you stand on this, and I don't have an answer to it.
I don't have an answer, to be honest. What did interest me is that Helen Mirren was talked about a lot more than Cillian Murphy. When you consider how much bigger Oppenheimer was, no disrespect to Golda, I wondered if, I don't know, there was another issue at play there.
There was discussion about Cillian Murphy.
There was, but I wouldn't say it was as much. Just strange.
I don't know how to quantify it, but I mean, it's as I said, I don't pretend to have an answer. I mean, from your point of view, you're an actor. You're much kind of closer to this than I am.
Yeah, it's true. In a weird way, it's a problem that I very rarely face because I look how I look. Yeah. I can't pretend to be white unless we're going to do some Eddie Murphy prosthetics in 2023. So there's not many people's roles I'm going to be stealing because of the specificity of the colour of my skin.
Is the harmonica hanging around your neck? Does it play? Oh, I'm so delighted. I'm sorry, I only just noticed that you literally have a harmonica hanging around your neck.
It's a mini Hona for those at home. It's called a Little Lady made by Hona. I was in a flea market in Brooklyn when my kids were very small, and child 2 was about 3 or 4. And at the time, I was spending a lot of time traveling around the world as a jobbing stand-up. Yeah. So I was missing a lot of their pivotal moments, which was quite sad to me. But she picked this up from a store and she thought it was the cutest thing ever. Wow. So I stuck it on a necklace and
that's just lovely.
And it's called a Little Lady. So I thought, when I'm in a bog standard hotel room somewhere in the middle of nowhere, walking in on strangers probably, so I can remember my little lady.
This is me trying to make, so you know what that is?
What have you got there?
That's from Warren Ellis. That is
this is a locket round Mark's neck.
Okay, that's the thing, Chris. But that's from my dad. That's from Warren Ellis. That is a silver cast of a piece of chewing gum that Nina Simone stuck on the keyboard of a piano, and that he retrieved from the piano back in the 90s, and then later did a cast from. That is literally that's the subject of Nina Simone's gum, the book that he wrote. So that is it's a cast of Nina Simone's chewing gum.
I mean, when you talk about unique things, one day I'll bump into someone else with a little lady around their neck. But you'll never, ever bump into another person.
Who else has got one? Warren Ellis.
Well, I'm sure Warren has, yeah. That's incredible. Yeah. Okay, so I've been completely sidetracked now. Yeah. Where were we? UK's number 10, Blackberry. The UK's number 9, which is A Little Life.
Okay, so not from that is a streamed theatrical production.
Oh.
So that's, So that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. And then UK's number 8, Can It Be Any More Ken Loach?
And the answer is no. Weirdly enough, I went to see a screening yesterday and I walked past the poster of The Old Oak, and the poster is literally the most Ken Loach poster. It's a bunch of people with a brass band and a banner marching hand in hand. But it's kind of, you have to admire the fact that he has ploughed that furrow and he has not compromised or changed.
And we love him dearly for that. I mean, as we were saying before we were on air, it'd be lovely if some people actually picked a side and had an opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Every now and again.
And that's never been a problem for Ken Loach.
No. Can It Be Any More Nunning? The Nun 2.
Have you seen any
I don't watch these films. I don't watch them.
No, okay.
I'm like Simon. I just, like, when it comes to those kind of horror films, I just...
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with it's like with sci-fi. If there's a great idea, if there's an idea behind the science fiction, if there's an idea behind the horror that isn't just horror, then I'm in.
Okay.
But if that's not there, I don't even.
Do you know what the idea?
You have to.
Do you know what the idea of the nun is? Boo.
Oh,
that's it.
Okay, right. Nuns appearing in the mirror, maybe.
Yeah, it's just Marilyn Manson face.
Right. Okay. But is it hanging on in there? It's doing okay.
It's done fine. I mean, that franchise baffles me, I have to say. But it's it's certainly washed its face financially. Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of Denzel Washington fans, and a lot of them have said, it's actually not. Yeah. It's not as bad as you think. The Equalizer 3.
Why do you think it was bad? I mean,
I don't know. The Equalizer 3.
Yeah, but Mission Impossible 4.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
It does what it says on the tin. It is. The movie that you think it is.
It's that.
It's that
done well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
And at 5, A Haunting in Venice. The moustache is still
the moustache,
being twirled.
the double-layered moustache, which is weirdly, it's the moustache equivalent of Limal's hairstyle, isn't it?
There's levels to it.
I enjoyed it, and Kenneth Branagh is really, having. I mean, somebody said to me, "I saw that Haunting in Venice. It made no sense." You go, yeah, really? Wow.
Yeah.
I watched that Mission to Mars. I didn't make
You have to be a bit of a cynic, I think, to not enjoy it. You can just see it like having its TV premiere on the Beeb or on ITV or something at Christmas.
Yeah, precisely.
And you think, perfect.
It'll be, all the family will sit down.
Yeah,
someone will fall asleep. Someone halfway through will go, "Who's that? Who's that person?"
At 4, The Great Escaper.
I thought this was really... It was really moving,
I want to watch this.
But as I said, it's partly because there are certain films that will just hit you in a way because Glenda Jackson reminded me of my mum, and that was it. My critical faculties went out the window,
and it was her last film, so that's added emotion.
And she's great in it. She's absolutely great. I was just watching some of the work that she did with Ken Russell again recently, which is just astonishing actor. And then Michael Caine. It's like, okay, we'd like somebody who is twinkly and can, with just a kind of the merest flutter of an eye, tell you a story about the backstory of this person. Get Michael Caine, And it said when Simon and I interviewed him some time ago, he said, "I'm retiring. I can't make films anymore. I can't walk." No, he can, and he's out there doing it. So good for him.
My dad wasn't quite 18, lied about his age, but he was on the beaches of Normandy.
Well,
in 44. He was there on D-Day. He lasted 33 days of the resulting 77-day battle before getting badly injured and hauled out of there.
My father-in-law was on D-Day, as well, and just extraordinary.
So anything like this, I lap up. I'm always just.
Yeah, I think you'll like it.
I'm a sucker for it.
I think you'll like it, and it's it's big-hearted, but in a good way.
And actually, Jason saw this film. This is Jason on YouTube. Who said, "I saw this wonderful film yesterday, managed to hold back the tears, but only just. Incredibly emotional, warm, and altogether a beautiful celebration of love and devotion."
I cried all the way through it.
Yeah, I think I probably would as well, knowing me and knowing that and thinking of my dad and all of that will get me. And Billy says, "Hey up, lads." Just a quick note to say tar for the review. It's very casual, this.
This is very nice. Hello, Billy. How you doing? How have you been?
Love the show. It's one I hope most will be positive about the stuff I write. Good luck. Keep up the impressive work. Maybe we'll bump into each other one day in town. I did come across you in Soho once, Mark.
Okay.
Just after you'd been very kind about Made in Dagenham.
I love Made in Dagenham.
And went a bit fanboy, which I expect was terrifying.
Oh,
so
this is the writer. This is the writer.
I was thinking, who is this casual
This
Billy?
This is the writer of the film who wrote
it's
Made
William
in Dagenham.
Ivory.
Yeah, fine. Okay, well, that makes a lot more sense.
Who also wrote The Great Escape.
He did.
So, A up, Billy boy.
But you've really got to read the script in advance.
Yeah, I should have read that the bottom of that email first. What I usually do is I read the name first so I can say this one's from, but for some reason I didn't do that.
Well done.
But that's nice, because then you got genuine surprise from me.
Yeah, it was lovely.
I was not expecting that to be Billy Boy Ivory, who wrote The Great Escape on. Anyway, at number 3,
that's very funny.
We've got Sorks,
which is not a film that will produce tears, but it does what the Saw movies are meant to do, and it is definitely one of the better ones. And it's there is that weird thing. Saw X, is there really anywhere else to go? Well, no, but we just go back. This is Saw 1.5 because this takes place between the first and the second. They're like filling in all it's Star Wars.
Oh my
it is literally Star
filling in the
Wars.
gaps.
They're filling in the gaps. But it's a good Saw movie if that's what you want.
Right, and this is the 10th one for real. There's
Saw
10
X,
of these.
Yeah.
Right, I've never seen any of them.
Yeah. Really?
No. Not a single. I told you,
okay, no, fair enough.
These kind of horror films I will never watch.
Yeah, fine.
Is there some kind of added social comment, something else going on?
Oh, no, there
check
isn't.
it out.
I mean, there is, but there isn't. Yeah, the added social comment is, we should probably all have free healthcare and, that's it.
The sequels, prequels, reboots, bits in between now we're into. Yeah. It's just mad to me. There's a scene in, this is a weird thing to reference, but Teen Titans Go to the movies.
Okay, yeah.
Cartoon, DC cartoon, where Robin gets very upset because he thinks the next big DC movie is going to be about him. Right. And they have a trail forward at this premiere of the new Batman film of forthcoming DC movies.
Yes.
And he thinks, this one will be me. And it's about Batman's utility belt. The next one's about Alfred's broom that he uses to tidy the Batcave. And they just go through all these inanimate objects and they never get to him. And I thought that's funny in and of itself, but also scarily prescient. Yeah. I think we're not too far away from utility belt 2.
Well, as I said, with the Star Wars universe, it is getting to, that angle poised lamp.
Do you know
you ever wonder where it goes? Right,
yes. And at UK's number 2 is The Creator.
So have you seen this?
Yes.
Go on.
I was completely swept away by the visuals of this film.
Yeah, it's brilliantly designed.
I absolutely loved that element of it. There was lots of things that took me out of the world every now and again. I think it was maybe a script thing, but on the whole, it's a very similar experience to Blade Runner 2049.
Okay.
I felt completely immersed in the world and loved being a part of it. No question. And people say, this show's too kind to Gareth Edwards. I'm just being honest. That's how I felt. I think there's been some unfair criticism of it, in fact.
Yeah, so, I really liked it. I think it's flawed, but it's ambitious and it's an original IP, and I think it combines the kind of the on the ground guerrilla filmmaking style of Monsters.
Yeah, it felt like a return to what we originally loved about Gareth Edwards. So people like him, they're a bit like exciting young footballers. They get snapped up by a behemoth club and then sit on their bench and we just watch them rot, getting $250,000 a week. When we think, if you could have just stuck out just getting 70 grand a week.
But here's the thing, Creator is
seeing you grow.
Creator is a movie that looks like it cost a lot more than it did. Right. But it is a properly, it's a big movie. Mm. So there is big visual effects. As he demonstrated with Monsters, he can do big visual effects in his front room. But I do think it's that sweet spot, and that's the phrase that he used, between Monsters on the one hand and the Star Wars stuff on the other hand. And I think it's there are things wrong with it, but that doesn't make it a bad movie.
Yeah,
I'd much rather see an ambitious film than see a film just playing safe.
And the UK's number 1 is the incredible. I think you could call it incredible.
In the truest sense of the
Believer.
word. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely. I mean, as I said at the time, it will go to number 1 for 1 week, and then I think next week it will just plummet like a stone because it is an absolute abomination. And for full review, you can go listen to last week's show.
Very entertaining.
I mean, I thought it was detestable.
Yeah. Well, as with a lot of your best rants, they are way more entertaining than the movie itself. So I would recommend all listeners and all fans of a Kermode and Rant to rewind 1 week. Seco6246 on YouTube says, how David Gordon Green continues to make horror is beyond me. Hollywood is pretty much bankrupt of any creativity and imagination anyway, but this goes to a whole new level. Couldn't agree with Mark more.
I don't need to say on the subject of that he's not making horror. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Well, I mean, you said it wasn't even scary.
No,
right?
that's
got to be the baseline.
Unbelievably dull. Like really properly boring.
Like at least just be mental. Do you know what I mean? If you're making a terrible horror.
That's Exorcist 2.
Crazy.
Exorcist 2 has got, hang on, they are flying to Africa on the back of a locust.
There you go.
Okay.
Stick that in.
Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. While you're here, check out all the other videos because they're cool too, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to date with everything Kermode and Mayo's Take, then check out our social channels.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I would. I have done.
Excellent.